Diddle 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 do. Gets me every time. Gets me every time. Tea Cakes, Ms. Mary, moderating. Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Dublin, Ireland, here at the 15th of July, Sunday. A rainy day here in Dublin. Going forward now with the Resignation Show, I am joined this evening by the inevitable resignation and non-resignation. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well. Hi, GT.
Good by good. Scotty Morris, Spartan on, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Can I get a 5x5 from the crowd that have appeared? Dolly Daydream, good to see you. Give me a 5x5 on the sound check, please, brothers and sisters, before we kick off. Dirty Sanchez, how you doing, brother? Welcome aboard. Still waiting for the 5x5 on the sound check before we kick off. How are we doing? Can you hear me? 5x5 from Spartan on. Perfect. Thank you very much. Brandy, Strawberry Brandy, Dolly Daydream, 5x5. Lots going on. Lots to cover. Going to focus today's show just primarily on the resignation list. We've got the resignation info brought up here to hand. We've got lots of resignations to get through. Wanted to say a huge congratulations to President Trump's visit here to Europe. The new sheriff came in and showed everybody who the boss, the new alpha dog in town, new sheriff. Delighted to see the globalists all upset in their own little incubator. Lots happening on the resignation list. And if you're new to the show and you're wondering what we're discussing, we are talking about Q, all things Q. Q decided, Q asked us to keep and pay particular attention to the resignations that are happening throughout the world. 412 and resignation. Resignation started off this list initially, and it's grown to epic proportions. We'll drop you the links. Links are in the description box where you can bring this up for yourself. Don't know if resignation's handy or you want to drop some links out there for the resignation. So resignation, take us away. Where do you want to begin? And let's get on with today's show.
Yeah, I want to begin with the news again. So, yeah, actually we have more than 3,550 resignations on the list. So I think these are 300 more than we had 2 weeks ago. And I'm not sure if I announced this or mentioned this in our last show. I also started tracking the new job and the new company of people which left their position. And the second thing, I also mentioned in one of our last shows, I improved the resignation website a little bit. So the resignation website, you can reach at resignation.info. And I replaced the existing dashboards with much better ones. And I also added some more new dashboards. Maybe you can show them, GT. And so now you can hover over these dashboards, and you can see also some total numbers of this. GT, I can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry, brothers and sisters. Got to remember to unmute myself. Just brought us here to the dashboard, the resignation homepage dashboard here. Whereabouts do you want to take us straight off the bat?
So there's not that much I can tell you about this. So I would suggest try the different dashboards or try different links on this website, and then you can see some graphs per month or per week. So I try to get the most statistics out of the data as possible. In some cases, you can't see dashboards because the data isn't good enough to make some of these dashboards. So if you miss a dashboard, please send me a mail, resignations@protonmail.com. You will also find this email address on the website. And yeah, then you can suggest what I could add additionally. Yeah, the next thing, I think it's already presented in the live stream. I've added another point on the left side. It's called indictments. And this is one of my newest projects. I started this because some people on YouTube claimed that everyone on the resignation list will be indicted, but that's definitely wrong. The resignation list contains also a lot of good people or people which are just normal people and left the job maybe on health issues, or they retire because they are too old. So with this, I wanted to prove that these claims are definitely false.
Sorry, Rez,
what did I do for this?
I'm just waiting for things to load up there. Carry on, sir, just to explain what's happening on the screen.
Okay. So this what I did is I tried to grab all the names from the indictments master list. So this list is also linked on my indictments page. And unfortunately, this list contains only last names. So I needed to start to grab also the first names from some PDF documents. These are the official PDF documents from pacer.gov, I think. And I was able to figure out the first names of 30% of all the people which got an unsealed indictment. And I compared these names, so only the names, with the people from the resignation list. And I was able to find 10 people where the names matched. So, but this doesn't mean that exactly these people got indicted. So we did a little research and we figured out that people with the same name got indictments, but these are not the people which resigned from a position or which are listed on the resignation list. And I'm already in contact with, I will call him Indictment Anon. And we try to...
What'd you say his name was? Indictment Anon?
Exactly. So I don't have a name. I just know that he's an Anon and he's doing indictments. So I will call him Indictment Anon. And we will try to work a little bit together to complete the data. Today he sent me a mail. He was able to figure out some more names, but we haven't done research yet. So before we start making false claims, we will not go into details yet. We will do this if the research is done. So I think maybe in 2 weeks, or latest I would say in 4 weeks, we can talk deeply about this. So,
okay.
But currently, there is definitely no real connection between people on the resignation list to people on the indictments list.
Perfect. Just to check in with live chat, and a big warm and a Heidi ho to Cynthia Kading for joining us. She says hello to you as well. Resignation. Muck Monster throws out that the Strozik worked for the CIA and the FBI at the same time in counter and espionage via Big Ball's blog. Check the sauce. Dirty Sanchez. Leuven Colo joins us. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Tech Diesel. Good to see you too, brother. How you keeping? I hope you're doing well. Daki's Trail, hey, all too from the Dublin folks. Just to let you know, for those of you that are on the Discord as well, while myself and Resignation are in here, and you can see here on the Discord channel myself and Resignation. I also have another guest who's just sitting in and listening to the show, wants to join along and tag along to see how we're operating here and what we're trying to achieve going forward with other shows on the Gran Torino. But if you guys that are in the live chat now, if you're on the Discord, if you're part of Q Ireland, there's 2 spots available in the Discord room here that myself and Resignation are on. If you want to come join us and have some say in the conversation when we get through these lists, there's 2 available spaces in the Discord channel. come in and pop in and say hello, and we'll talk. We'll have a quick talk through towards the end, if you like. Okay, Rez, let's jump straight into June 1st. Dreamworld CEO Craig Davidson. Is that okay with you? Should we get cracking into it?
Yeah, of course. So Dreamworld is a theme park in Australia. And in 2016, they had a ride disaster. So there was a malfunction of the so-called Thunder River Rapids ride. 4 people died in this incident. And so currently the CEO, Craig Davidson, resigned. And that's not the first CEO on the list resigning from this company. So on November the 7th, CEO Simon Kelly resigned as well. And I'm not sure why they both were leaving, but there is a clear connection to this incident from 2016. The next one is Eddie Mayer. He was a Radio 4 presenter. So Radio 4 is a radio station from the BBC in United Kingdom.
Yep.
And he resigned amid a gender pay row.
Man of principle.
Yeah, he got a lot of money. I think so, around £300,000 per year. And I think they tried to cut his salary a bit, but he wasn't very happy with this. So he decided to resign. The next one is a guy from Israel. He was a member of the Western Wall Committee, and his name is, or her name, Ayaz Shaked. And he or she resigned on July the 1st. But he isn't, or she isn't the first person resigning from this committee. So Miri Regev resigned 3 days ago, so on June 28th.
And you can, sorry, just cut across, you can follow along here with links in the description box if you want to bring it up, or just follow us along here on the screen as we go through it. Dirty Sanchez and Tea Cakes having a good old chin wag. Light Switch says, yeah, good riddance. I just wanted to touch back with a new subscriber. Who was that? That was, where did you go, my friend? Dakis Trell, good to see you. Thanks for joining us and welcome aboard. Okay, Rez, where to again? The next one.
Yeah, the next one is from July the 2nd. We had 2 people from ABC News leaving their position. The first one is the investigative correspondent, Brian Ross. And he resigned months after he was suspended for an erroneous report on President Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn. And also Rhonda Schwartz resigned. She was an investigative reporter. The next one is, again, someone from a car company. In this case, the president of Ford Australia, Graham Wickman is his name. And on the same day, another senior vice president from Tesla resigned. Doug Field is his name. And currently he is the 9th high-ranking person from Tesla on the resignation list.
Wow.
9 persons in less than 9 months. This is interesting. But I would expect that more people will follow.
Brilliant. Nobody taking us up on the Discord Challenge Light Coca-Cola sweepstakes. If you want to get in, still 2 there. I know some of you in live chat are still saying, what's Discord? How do I get on Discord? You need to get on Discord, especially for the chance and for future communications. Try and join us in there. Dolly Daydream, I know you just joined us new and fresh. Or lads in the house. Good to see you there, brother. Hope you can figure out and see what we're trying to achieve here. Resignation, carry on, my friend.
The next one is Jeffrey Bell. He was a patrol sergeant in Fort Bend County, and he resigned after some sexual assault allegations. Then we have another retirement from the US military. Wing Commander Andrea Femely retired from Shepherd Air Force Base. and she became the first female commander of the 80th Flying Training Wing in 2017.
Very good.
The next one is the president of the Supreme Court in Poland, Małgorzata Gersdorf. He or she was fired after a controversial new law that came into effect at midnight, forcing her and up to 26 colleagues from the branch. And the law reduces the retirement age from 70 to 65 years. So, 27 judges have been forced to leave.
Where's that?
Very interesting. Sorry?
That's the Supreme Court. Whereabouts is that? Poland.
Poland, yes.
Having a purge there, I'd say, on some 26 judges have been forced to leave. I think that's in tandem to try and defend themselves against prosecution from the EU, trying to get rid of a certain mindset in the judiciary. Would you say?
This could be possible, but I'm not sure actually.
Okie dokie. Let's go.
Yeah, and the last notable resignation from July the 2nd comes from the Roman Catholic Church again. Vicar General Clement Machado resigned, and he is the second highest ranking official in the Catholic diocese in Memphis.
Yeah, we've had a lot of retirements and forced resignations from the Vatican. A bit of a purge going on out there too, especially from the Bishop in New York or the Cardinal in New York. He's facing proper charges on his return to Rome. I think he's up for extradition.
Yes, it looks a little bit like the number of resignations in the religion sector is increasing a bit.
Okay, by the way.
So, then we will continue with July the 3rd. I think this was very well present in standard news. Scott Schools, the lawyer, or one of the lawyers in the US Justice Department, resigned. And this was also reported in one of the Q posts we had some days ago. The next one is Diane Bryant. She was the COO of the Google Cloud platform, and she was leaving her position after only 7 months. So that's interestingly not the first person in a high-ranking position leaving only after a few months, but I think another very interesting resignation will follow at the end of the show.
There are no coincidences, and they're all connected. Husbands, wives. Look into her past and who she's related to. We won't go. Just do your research there. Carry on.
So next one is another resignation from China. Xu Weiyan resigned as supervisor of shareholders from the ZTE Corporation, and only a few days before this, 14 board members, including the chairman, resigned from this company. And I think we already spoke about this in our last show 2 weeks ago. So there has been a restructuring in the management of this company regarding to some decisions from USA to prevent some taxes, but I'm not sure actually exactly. So actually we have 15 people resigning from this company, and I think there will be more people follow.
Would you say that's a committee shell company or something like that? That's the committee moving around their major players, the ZTE Corp, huge movements. We've noticed going through that over the last couple of weeks and months.
I didn't get your question completely.
I just saying there's a huge machinations, stinks of like a shell company or something like that the committee is using. But don't mind me, I'm just waxing lyrical. Let's spring onto our next.
Okay, the next one is Sheriff Jim Tracy. He resigned as sheriff in Utah County, and he resigned because of a neglect to funding issues at the Utah County Sheriff's Office. He had a 400,000 budget shortfall. The department is nearly $1 million in the red, and emails and other communications about his concerns were not addressed, which could result in a reduction of Utah County sheriffs forced by 20 deputies. So the situation
reduced the force to about 20 deputies in total.
Yep, so that's definitely not a good sign, and this shows that the sheriff wasn't working properly.
How's that fly on the wall? Just a quick mic check there for fly on the wall. Thanks for checking my sound levels. Okay, who are we going to next now? Amir Nakvi. Can you want to pronounce that one?
It sounded correctly. Amir Nakvi. He was an interim CEO of the Pakistani company Patari, and Patari is one of the biggest music stream platforms in Pakistan. And he wasn't that long in office, so he was just an interim CEO. And on April the 11th, the CEO Khalid Baiwa resigned following harassment allegations. Connected to the resignation of the interim CEO, there were also some of these allegations involved. And on the same day, the marketing director, Mavish Dati, and 4 other, I would say, high-ranking people from this company resigned additionally. So, it looks like in this company are a lot of strange things happening, and that's why they are all leaving. The next one is another central banker, in this case, the governor from the Liberian central bank, J. Milton Weeks is his name. And he resigned after resisting pressure from the pinnacle of authority for his refusal to allow the use of Liberia's consolidated accounts for collateral for the US for 536.4 million loan deal with the company Eaton. So I haven't digged into this company yet, so if you want to do this, please share the results with me. So write it in the comment section or send me an email. And then I will talk about it.
I can reach out to you on Gab or leave comments down here below. Or alternatively, make their way to Q Europe, where you're usually there hanging about, keeping the troops entertained.
And the last one for this day is David Richardson, and he was the CEO of the International Cricket Council, which has its headquarters in the United Arab Emirates, and he announced his retirement. So then we go to the next day, July the 4th, and this day starts with a death case. I think this was also very present in normal news. The Chinese chairman from the HNA group, Wang Jian is his name. He died in France, and he fell 10 to 15 meters. So
that's mad.
33 to 49 feet after climbing on a wall for a photo. And this sounds a little bit suspicious, and maybe you know the name Benjamin Fulford. He writes weekly reports, and in his last report he stated that Mossad sources says that it was no accident and that he was taken out as he was about to testify in a closed hearing regarding Deutsche Bank.
Where have we heard that before?
And it looks like he had so much things to reveal that this could possibly be enough to have finished the bank. And
wow.
In the same report, he also stated that the connection with Deutsche Bank would likely to have to do with the laundering of drug money. And yeah,
huge bit of scandal going on there. Huge bit of scandal going on there.
I heard people saying that the reports of Benjamin Fulford are very good. And so maybe there are some more interesting things in the story. Yeah, and as we are talking about the bank, Deutsche Bank, we have also a resignation from this company again. In this case, James Boyle. He was the head of the Asia Pacific equities, and he's at least the third managing director in Asia from Deutsche Bank to quit the company, and this only in this 1 week. And the other names are James Thompson, who was based in Hong Kong and Jakarta, and
Konardi Lai.
Konardi Lai also left, but I wasn't able to find some reports in the media about both. So both are not listed actually. If you find a source, please send it, and then I will add both. So the next one is another resignation from China again. The chairman from Yunnan Aluminium resigned. Tian Yong is his name. And he stated that he resigned due to a change in a job role. But I think he may be a little bit important because in our show, in our former shows, we talked a little bit about connections to steel and aluminium. And so that's the reason why he might be a little bit interesting as well.
A little bit.
A little bit, but I would say the next one is definitely much more interesting.
Just want to bring your attention quickly, folks. Dirty Sanchez has joined us in the house. Dirty Sanchez, bring you in just towards the end there, if that's okay, brother. Making your way in. We'll have a quick conversation towards the end. Still one more slot available, boys and girls, if you're able to make your way in there. Go ahead there, Rez.
Yeah, the next one is very interesting, I think. Johnny Thompson, he was the CFO of the British-based Compass Group. And if you follow the Resignation Show or the Resignation List for a while, then you may know the Compass Group. On September the 21st in last year, the CEO, Richard Cousins, announced his resignation. But you will not find him at this day on the resignation list. He's listed on January the 1st because he died on a plane crash. Also, 4 of his family members died in this crash. And some annons figured out some months ago that there might be a connection to the Clintons. And the connection is that the Compass Group built the Clinton Presidential Library in Little Rock. So I think some months ago, Annons and 4chan or 8chan figured out that Richard Cousins might have been killed because maybe he knew things.
That's the Australian billionaire that him and his family died in a tragic plane crash there a month or so back. So you mate, there's a bit of a tie in there, yeah?
I would expect this, yes.
Intriguing. Okay, sir. Let's crack on, will we?
Yeah, the next one is Lorinda Yankert. She was a public defender of the U.S. Department of Public Defense. And she resigned because she received some negative feedback about her management style. And I think she was a little bit asked if she would leave her position. And the next one is very interesting again. It's our first resignation from the Ivory Coast.
Just one quick touch in there. MSL Inks and the live chat says that they used to work for the Compass Group and they mostly do jail food. So bit of a gravy train running there. Just the Compass Group there, just a touch in. Thanks for that, Links. Good bit of sauce there. Sorry, Rez, go ahead, brother.
The whole government from the Ivory Coast was dissolved. And this is not the first case where the whole government was dissolved. So very interesting to see that this continues.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one on July the 5th, I think this guy was also very, very present in standard media. Scott Pruitt, he resigned as a head of the Environmental Protection Agency.
He knew where all the slush funds were, and he uncovered it all, it seems. I think he's done what he needed to do in there.
Yeah, and he wasn't the first one leaving this agency. On April the 5th, Samantha Dravis left. On May the 1st, Albert Kelly. And on June the 6th, Milan Hart. And if this continues, I would expect in 2 or 3 weeks we have the next resignation from this agency. Because every month at the beginning, someone high-ranking is leaving. So
you take 1 foot in, you take 1 foot out, you do the hokey pokey, and you're out, out, out. Carry on.
So the next one is a resignation from my home country, Germany. Heinrich Hiesinger resigned as CEO of the ThyssenKrupp company, and they are involved into a lot of things. They are doing some things in the steel sector. I think they are also producing some parts for tanks and military equipment, if I'm not wrong. So a very big company here in Germany. Interesting to see.
In the Matrix, in our live chats, just announced that John Amato, the CEO of the Hollywood Reporter, Billboard Media Group, he's just retired. So, resignation coming in live as we speak. Thanks for that, in the Matrix.
Well, I think this guy should be on the resignation list.
What? What? It's not breaking news in the Matrix? Are you only just catching up? Resignation is already ahead? Go ahead, brother. Sorry about that. Shouldn't have doubted you.
The next one is Kim Sinatra, General Counsel from the Win Resource Limited. Maybe you already know this company name. On February the 6th, CEO Steve Wynn resigned after sexual harassment allegations. Mm-hmm. On March the 7th, 2 board members, Rai Irani and Alvin Shoemaker, resigned. And on May the 14th, the board member Robert J. Miller left this company. And I would expect that some more people will follow. The next one is, interestingly, another minister. In this case, the Labor Minister of Brazil, Helton Jomura is his name. And he resigned after he was being suspended by the Supreme Court after a corruption investigation. So, looks a little bit like house cleaning, you would say.
Very good.
The next one is also a minister, in this case, the Minister of Child Affairs in Sri Lanka. No, I can't spell his or her name.
The Minister for Sri Lanka. Yes, it's written down there right in front of me. And that'll be on the resignation list here in front. I will bring it up and we will let you guys have a crack. Anyway, the Minister for Children Affairs from Sri Lanka. I'm not even going to pronounce that. It's right there, highlighted on the screen there, live chat. Do what you will. Have a go. Go ahead there, resignation.
Yeah, and the next 5 people are all high-ranking people from the ZTE Corporation again.
Oh, wow.
They got fired. I don't know why they got fired, but it looks like there is still the connection to the management replacement we talked about earlier. And the last one for this day is unfortunately another death case. Ed Schultz.
Poor old Ed, yeah.
Yeah, he was a moderator.
And I say old, he wasn't. He's only in his 60s, quite a young man. I know he was a good friend of Lionel Nation, who we all watch, catch up in his shows. A good friend, and Lionel did a good passage about it and acquainted us with his old friend. Sorry to hear the sad news. He obviously had heart problems and passed away. So, go ahead, sir.
Interesting. I didn't know this connection to Lionel. Mm-hmm. So now we are moving forward to July the 6th. we have two people leaving the airline company WestJet Group. Bob Cummings retired as vice president, and Cam Kenyon resigned as vice president. So I don't know how many airlines we have, but on the resignation list, I would say a lot of airline companies are listed, actually. I'm not sure if this is really normal.
A few more guys jumping in. Lun Cavo says, the ZTE Corp Lunachick joins us. How are you doing? Thanks for joining us. And Craig Gordon shared on Facebook and Twitter. Copy that, 5x5. Don't forget to smash that like button, people, because it kind of helps with the algorithms. Go ahead.
So the next one is William Trumple. He was dean at the Michigan State University. He announced his retirement. And he was also one of Larry Nasser's former bosses. And yeah, he harassed, discriminated, demeaned, and so on. So the list is much longer. Some female students on his university. So it looks like it was a good decision that he is leaving his position. Yeah, the next one is, I would say, was also very present in Standard News. Leandra English resigned as Deputy Director of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And on December the 24th last year, Richard Cordray resigned from this organization as well. When we are going to United Kingdom again, the chairman Ed Warner and 6 different directors resigned from the British basketball following peremptory and unconstitutional actions by the HCA chairs. So HCA is the parent organization. So British basketball is only a smaller organization which is part of this. And yeah, that's all what I can say to this. And the next one is very interesting, I would say. John Patrick Contini resigned as a judge from the Broward County Circuit Court. And
sorry, Rez, where is he on the list? George who?
John Patrick Contini.
Okay.
I think it must be one of the last for July the 7th.
Okie dokie.
The interesting thing is that he isn't the first judge resigning from this circuit court. Actually, he is the 7th one. And maybe you still know Broward County. What happened some months ago, there was a shooting and there was absolutely strange things happening. And in the last few days, I have often seen some reports that Broward County Sheriff, I can't remember his first name anymore, Sheriff Israel would resign as well.
Israel, yeah.
But unfortunately, I'm still waiting for his resignation. So I would definitely like to add him to the list. But I think we need to wait a little bit longer, unfortunately.
Moving along.
So the next one is from July the 8th. Vishal Sikka, CEO of the Indian company Infosys. He is not the first one leaving this company. On September the 22nd, we had Senior Vice President Naveen Budhiraya leaving. And on January the 12th, we had President Rajesh Murphy leaving. And actually the company stocks are falling steepest in over 4 years.
What's the name of the next one you're moving on to their resignation? I've just kind of drifted off there.
The next one is Cheng Lixin, the CEO of the ZTE Corp. And
gotcha.
I think we already have spoken enough about the ZTE Corp.
Yeah.
So I will move forward to the next one.
Skip on.
The next one very interesting, and I think you already heard this in standard media. Suella Braverman resigned from the department for exiting the European Union and Great Britain. So it's the department for Brexit. And also the minister, Steve Baker, resigned from this department. He said that the government policies were undermining his negotiation position in Brussels, and he would not return control over laws to British Parliament. And the third person, David Davis, the Secretary of State in this department, resigned as well. And he is Steve Baker's boss, and he shocked the Prime Minister by telling her he could not support the Brexit plan agreed to Czech years on Friday, and he was quitting in so-called in the national interest.
Mm-hmm. You got Boris as well, didn't you?
Sorry?
You got Boris Johnson as well in there. Yeah, I see it there, sorry.
Yes, Boris Johnson resigned as foreign minister on the next day. And on the same day, the justice minister, Tatjana Mala, resigned from the Czechoslovakian government. And I think this is our record here. She resigned after only 2 weeks in office due to allegations of plagiarism.
Plagiarism? Gee, that's interesting. Plagiarism. So she's not qualified, is she not a certified judge? Or maybe she just lifted somebody else's ruling and tried to pass it off as her own?
Yeah, but a similar case we had in Germany some years ago with Karl Theodor zu Guttenberg, is his name. And he plagiarized his... what does it mean in English? So his document for getting the doctor title. So
he lied. Basically, what you're saying is he lied. Just touching in with Sammy C in live chat. I know you just said you just went back there and watched the Charles Ortel and Jerome Corsi interview with the Clintons. There's a lot more to come out of that neck of the woods, and I have reached out to Charles. I'm hoping that he will come back and give us a follow-up. Also, Stable 8 Genius has some great sauce on the One Foundation, also tied in. You're going to see a lot more of that, Sammy C, if you're only just coming aboard to any understandings of the Clinton Fraud Foundation. That's going to be huge. Keep your eye on that. That's going to affect us here in Ireland as well. Sorry, Rez, go ahead, brother.
The next one is from July the 10th, Liu Jimin. He was the president and director of the China Unicom Corporation. That's a telecommunication company. And only 2 weeks before he left, director Robin Lee resigned also. And for me, it looks a little bit like we will have a number of people of telecommunication companies leaving their position is increasing a little bit. So actually we have, I would say, a lot of people resigning from telecommunication companies.
And just a little genuine text. Somebody jumps in there. Scooter says there's a likely uptick in resignations in aftermath of Helsinki. Something going on in Finland. Something smells in Denmark, but essentially something's going on in Helsinki. Keep your eye on that. Thanks for that, Scooter.
Oh no, not more work for me.
Yeah, more work for you and the Anons. Dirty Sanchez, thank you for being patient. We're going to get through the list as quickly as we can, and then we'll bring you in for the conversation. Thanks for hanging out in Discord there. There's still one room available, still one slot available if anybody wants to get in at the round table at the end of the show. Thanks, Rez. Go ahead, brother.
So the next one is another judge, Theresa Brennan, resigned from the county district court, and she was poised to become the president of the Michigan District Judges Association. She has left the organization amid an ongoing criminal investigation and pending complaint from the Michigan Judicial Tenure Commission. So as I said, not the first one, and definitely not the last one. Resigning as a judge. The last notable resignation for this day is from John Finlay, and he was pastor of the Bartlett Hills Baptist Church in USA, And he resigned following accusations that he sexually molested 2 teenage girls over 30 years ago while serving in a church in Texas.
Wow.
So, yep, that's exactly the same, I would say. Yeah. Let's move forward to July the 11th. Liane Hornsey, the chief people officer at the company Uber, resigned. Following an investigation into how she handled allegations of racial discrimination at a ride-hailing firm. And she's not the first one leaving the company. Maybe you still can remember in June 2017, the CEO, Travis Kalanick, resigned. So he's not on the resignation list because the list starts at September the 1st. And June, with his resignation in June, he resigned a little bit too early to become part of the list. But on November the 22nd, Chief Security Officer Joe Sullivan and the attorney Craig Clark were fired. And on March the 29th, the head of freight, Lia Ron, resigned. And last but not least, on May the 17th, the Chief Product Officer Jeff Holden resigned. So currently we have six people leaving this company. I would say there are more to expect.
I could just highlight the whole lot there. Look at all of them. Wee, Canada. What's going on there? Scamming, $6 million salary scams, utility prey.
The next ones are very interesting, I would say. And I would suggest to do a little deeper research in this company and maybe also in the CEO, Mayo Schmidt. He announced his retirement from the company Hydro One. Hydro One is an electricity transmission and distribution utility serving the Canadian province of Ontario. And Hydro One was partially privatized in November 2015 with a Liberal government saying it planned to use the sale of shares to fund transit and infrastructure projects.
This is the Liberal Progressive Socialist government?
The former one, yes. By December last year, the province has sold off 53% of its stakes in the company. And Ontario's former premier, Kathleen Wynne, who is interestingly also on the resignation list, so she resigned on June the 7th as the leader of the Ontario Liberal Party. She was also involved in making the decision to sell these shares. And under the agreement between the new Tory government and the partially privatized power utility, CEO Mayo Schmidt will retire, and its board of directors, which
the whole lot there,
which are 13 people, they will resign and be replaced by, I would say, 10 people. So, we have the chairman and 12 board members leaving additionally.
Cheerio, goodbye, ta-ta. All good people. We have to reiterate as well, Rez, that not everybody on the list is a bad actor. So just that we're reporting on the resignations, just to clarify that as well.
Yep, that's absolutely correct. So, as I stated in the beginning, there are a lot of good people on the list. Only a few of them have done things, in some cases, terribly wrong.
Yes.
But I want to add something to the CEO, Mayo Schmidt. He was scamming a $6.7 million salary in the utility payers. While old folks in North Ontario were choosing between food and heat, and so
I hope he gets his.
This guy earns a lot of money just for being a CEO.
Wow.
That's definitely wrong. So let's jump forward to another resignation of a bank. In this case, from the Danske Bank in Denmark. The head of compliance, his name is Anders Meinert Jorgensen. He resigned. and he resigned after the Danske Bank admitted to flaws in anti-money laundering controls in Estonia. I could remember things happening in Estonia, but I can't remember what it was exactly. But I would suggest to do a research into this. There may be interesting things happening. And if I'm not wrong, we had also some issues with a central banker some months ago from Estonia.
Yeah.
I think he was the guy who got arrested. I'm not sure, actually. Maybe it was another central banker from another country. But the head of compliance wasn't the first one leaving this company. The head of business banking, his name is Lars Morsch, resigned on April the 5th. And maybe other people will follow. And as we are talking about banks, Robert Perry, he was a branch manager at Morgan Stanley. He resigned also amid complaints against brokers. And the next one is also from the USA, in this case from Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Walter Higgins, the CEO of the Puerto Rico Electric Power Authority, resigned on this day. On November the 17th, the former CEO, Ricardo L. Ramos, resigned. And actually, it looks like the Electric Power Authority is bankrupt. And they are searching for a new CEO. In a job offer, they offered a yearly salary, I would say about $700,000 per year.
Wow.
And it's definitely too much for nearly bankrupt.
Just ran it into the ground. List, please. Ludvo Cololo asked for the list, please. If you're looking for the res list, it's in the description box, just underneath the video there. You can click on the link, and it'll bring you straight through us there. I will drop one in here as we speak. Sorry, Res, go ahead, brother, and I'll just drop it into the live chat again.
The board members, they try to vote for another CEO, which wouldn't be that cost intensive. But they were not allowed to choose a new one. And that's why the chairman, the vice chairman, and 3 different board members handed in their resignation. So only in 2 days we had 6 people leaving the Puerto Rico Electric Power Authority. Maybe other people will follow. The next one, I would say, is maybe known because he's already listed on the resignation list. John Schnatter is his name. He resigned as a chairman from Papa John's, and
Papa John's,
would say, hey, he's on the list with a resignation from Papa John's. This is correct, but on December 21st, he didn't resign as chairman, but he resigned as a CEO. So it looks like he still has a position, I think, as a board member, but maybe in a few days, weeks, or months, he will also leave this position. And his latest resignation has the reason that he used the N word, and that's
not
why
good.
he had to leave. The next one I would say is also very interesting. His name is Wes Bush, and he's the CEO of the company Northrop Grumman. If you are following the UFO and ET community, then you may know this company. So they are involved into, I would say, some secret or black budget projects, and they may be involved into UFO technology. And so if this guy is leaving, it may be interesting. And also Q said that we will have a disclosure. And as far as I know, Q didn't specify what kind of disclosure we will have. So I expect very interesting things happening in the next few weeks and months.
Mm-hmm. As do we all. As do we all, Rez.
Yeah, and this guy will also remain as a chairman until July 2019. Yeah. The next one is another guy from the UK, a member of the British Labour Party, resigned. Gerald O'Mara is his name. And initially he got suspended over sexist and homophobic comments, and now he has quit the party. But he was also saying that he had been made unfairly to feel like a criminal.
If you're in the Labour Party, you probably are. That's just my perspective. Go ahead, brother. Sorry about that.
The next one, I would say, is a very good example that we have also some very good people on the resignation list. Guido van Rossum resigned, and he was the founder and the head of the open source programming language Python. And he was working on this programming language for almost 30 years. And now he's leaving for health reasons.
That's a shame. Hope wish him well.
Yeah, me too. So the next one is John Fraser. He was Treasury Secretary in the Australian government. And I will jump to the next one.
Yeah, he just stepped down. Good luck.
The next one is Chris Conley, another pastor from a church, in this case from the American High Point Church. So the next one is from July the 13th. Stephen Millen. He's just another judge. He was working on the Miami courthouse. And actually he is the 39th judge on the list. Some of these judges are not allowed to service anymore. So
once they're gone, they're gone.
I don't know exactly what they did, but if they are not allowed to serve anymore, then they must have been things terribly wrong.
Oh, I like that, Jamie. Sorry, resignation. Just a shout out to Jamie Ross. I like that. I'm not going to read it out, but I like that. Carry on, Rez. Go ahead, brother.
And then we jump to the next day, July. We had. I start with the latest one. We had a resignation from another minister. In this case, the Minister of Small Business in the United Kingdom. Andrew Griffiths is his name, and actually he is the 71st minister on the resignation list.
Did you skip one there? You're going to go back to him, yeah?
Yeah, and now I will go back to him because I would say he's the most interesting one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Guy Lafontaine is his name, and he is or was the Prime Minister of Haiti. And
huge demonstration, huge riots over there over fuel rate increases. Lots of demonstrations.
I would say at the beginning of the show we talked a little bit about Haiti and the Clinton Foundation and some of these connections. I would definitely expect in the next few weeks and months that there will be a lot of information released. And actually he's the 19th Prime Minister on the resignation list. So in less than 9 months, 19 Prime Ministers. This is
from Haiti. Come on, we know what's coming down there. We know what's going to drop out of there sooner or later. Unbelievable.
And I expect that a lot of prime ministers and also presidents. So we have 6 presidents on the list. But a lot of more of these people will leave their position. And actually, in my opinion, these are not the very, very important. So I wouldn't expect a resignation from Donald Trump,
no.
But I would expect some resignations from chancellors or presidents or prime ministers here in Europe. So we haven't that much at the moment. I would say all of these prime ministers, or nearly all of them, were from small and not that important countries.
D3M MT Austin and on shows out in live chat 19 prime ministers in 9 months for Haiti. Like if you're on board the Q train, which most of it, I know most of you are, but anybody here knew, it's huge revelations going to come out of Haiti, and I think loads of people around the world are going to be caught up in that. We wait for them investigations to happen. Go ahead, Rez. You wanted to finish off there. That brings us more or less to the end of the list so far updated. Am I correct, Rez?
Yep, that's correct.
And unfortunately, Binary Agent seems to have left the chat room just before here we are at the end. So I'll hold it open for a few more minutes. How long have we been on the stream for? 45 minutes. That's keep it too long. So if anybody is in the live chat there, if anybody else wants to try and jump into the Discord channel here and just have a quick run through and a quick chat with us, and it's just to give people a flavour of what we can do for different shows going forward, that rather than ring in on text machines or phone calls, all you've got to do is get on the Discord channel. I'll expand the room and we can have discussions. On today's subject is the resignations list, which myself and Resignation try to cover at least once a week. If there's not much moving or if we've got personal stuff happening in between, we generally just try and advertise it on the Sunday, but it will be on every Sunday. But Q has asked us to keep an eye on the resignations as they go through the list. We can see Q is keeping quiet at the moment, looking here at the Q resignation board. I also wanted to have a quick look at President Trump's last tweet, which I believe was about an hour ago, just congratulating France on their win. I believe you were watching it as well, Resignation. Just to read President Trump's tweet is, congratulations to France, who played an extraordinary soccer on winning the 2018 World Cup. Additionally, congratulations to President Putin and Russia for putting on a truly great World Cup tournament, one of the best ever. So high praise from the President just before their meeting. Good praise indeed. So reaching out, still nobody in the live chat. It's only Binary Agent made it. Tea-Cakes, if you want to come in and have a quick chat, any of the moderators, just to give people a flavour. D30, M30, I know you're proficient. I know you're on one of the servers. Come in and say hello. Come in from the cold. Come in and speak to Resignation. He doesn't bite. He's quite affable. You just got to wait for him to translate from German to English in his mind. Okay. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to get any takers for the Discord channel. Binary Agent, where were you, buddy? I was just about to put you in. Live chat, I want to thank you. If you've got any questions there before we wrap up, but don't ever like to let the show drag on for too long, because there's quite a lot to get through on the list. Again, always encourage you to do your own investigations on the resignation list. Keep an eye on them. Some of them might pertain to where you are and where you live in the world. Yeah, just sparkling on, giving out the shouts and the props. So yeah, we'll probably wind it up there. Going to do another show, hopefully on weekly news roundups here, based in Ireland, and I encourage Irish patriots to be around. I'll announce it. Might try and reactivate the Canary in the Coal Mine, but I'm going to work on a new theme, a new subject, and we're going to do news roundups mostly from around Ireland, and we're going to concentrate on the shows that aren't being, or the news articles that aren't being pushed out in the mainstream, and that will tie in with one of 412's charts, and maybe Resignation might do a chart up on Irish crime rates. Seem to be going up through the roof and not being reported. So Resignation, I don't know if you've got any information you want to drop and say to live chat before we sign off this evening.
You cut off a little bit, but yeah. So as I stated in former resignation shows, all of these resignations I present here in the show are just the persons or companies where I think that they are notable or important. Unfortunately, more than 80% of the people on the list, I can't tell you if they are really important, or in most cases, I have never heard about the company. So yeah, I would suggest check out the list yourself. The list is updated every day. sometimes many times per day, and yeah, try to figure out if there is a company where you know that they are interesting, or that there are people on the list which are interesting. Yeah, reach out the information to me, and on the next show I will talk about it. Or maybe you want to join us in our chat, and then you can tell everyone about it. GT, are you still there?
Do you mean to tell me I was going through all of that little wind down there? It was good, but I'll start again. Just for those of you that are watching on the video stream after the fact here, I encourage you to press the little like button if you would. Hit the subscription the button to be informed of new shows that are coming up and whatever the channel, new interviews that the channel will be doing. Press the little blue bell. You'll be given instant reminders. Follow me and Resignation on our Gab and Twitter accounts. And if we got dropped any more information on the Resignation, we'll certainly get them on towards you. But with that, I'd like to thank Resignation for keeping us abreast. I'd like to thank everybody in live chat. Thanks for joining. GT, we're a bit muted. I appreciate that. I'm still juggling the wheels of steel. With that, I'll sign us off with the lead out. Take care, Resignation. Thanks very much for joining. See you again next week.
Thank you too. Bye.